Finally had the operation, finally back home, and I'll finally tell you what happened. And if anyone's been through this, because I've never been through this before, if anyone's been through this, please get in touch about how to help with rehabilitation and how you can have a nice diet, a good nutritious diet that's purely slop based. But anyway, let's get into the story. So on Monday night, stay in Manchester and then head out early to get to Next Generation in Liverpool for a sparring session. Next Generation is a brilliant gym, brilliant culture, brilliant sparring practices. I've got good things to say about Next Generation exclusively. I won't be naming names of who I was sparring with because I haven't asked if I can say these sparring stories, and generally the culture is if you haven't asked, don't say specifics and specific names or whatever. You motherfucking Agatha Christie Poirot dickheads can work it out yourself. So sparring, first round, really good, nice technical sparring. Someone's going to be fighting soon. So, it's controlled. It's really good controlled sparring. Second round, really good controlled sparring. And it's just a freak question mark kick that I think I dip into. I must have dipped into it a little bit, but it didn't ping me and it didn't rock me. Like, I wasn't concussed. I wasn't wobbled on my feet. It was the usual thing when someone catches a question mark kick on you in sparring. You say, hey, nice shot. You give him a high five. You give him a fist bump. Then I noticed my mouth was bleeding. So we stopped to have a look inside my mouth, and we think maybe there's just a little cut inside my mouth. Maybe the inside of my gums has just gone into my tooth a little bit. Maybe it's just a little bit of blood. Okay. Then we keep sparring. I'm feeling a little bit of like a wobblage on my tooth. My tooth feels in a different place. My wisdom tooth right at the back. And then the guy shoots a takedown. As I look down, as I'm sprawling, my mouth is just pissing blood. The physio there, he has a touch of my mouth and he's like, you need to get to the Royal. You need to get to A&E. You need to get this checked out as soon as, because it is moving a little bit. And I'm like, my mouth's really pissing with blood at this point. Head to A&E. And then they send me to Aintree. At this point, my mouth's pissing with blood. I get x-rayed there, and I have 2 fractures in my jaw. My wisdom tooth at the back on this side. That's the side that I take the kick on. There's a fracture here, and a fracture here. Because as I found out later, jaws break like polo mints, was the words he used. You never really break a polo mint in one spot. They'll normally break in 2 spots. That's how he explained it. So I got into Aintree on Tuesday, hopefully getting a surgery that day. Didn't get it, so I had to stay over Aintree, stay in the bed. And then on Wednesday, I was hoping again I'll get the surgery today. And then Thursday, again, I was hoping I would get the surgery. But 3 days go by, no surgery. Friday, again, I'm thinking that I'm not going to get the surgery that day, but late on Friday, like 5 o'clock, I go into the theatre to get some wires and plates fixed into my jaw to hold it together. And now I've got a big fat jaw. The way it looks to me is either like, when you mess up a character create on Saints Row, or you unlock the fat suit for Nathan Drake on Uncharted, that's kind of what it looks like to me when I saw it in the mirror. It was a bit of a shock. But I'm finally plated up. And the unfortunate result is that I'm out of my fight on March the 30th. And to be honest, I'm fucking gutted. It was like fuck. Since the Salwadi fight, I was quiet on social media, quiet on all these platforms. But I was just traveling around training with as many different fucking people as I could. Had a big trip to San Diego and got all sorts of training in. Just training constantly and coaching constantly. And there's so many things I want to show, but I'm out of this fight on March 30th, and it is fucking gutting. But when you're in the hospital that long, that many days, seeing the people coming in and out and seeing what the fuck they're going through, people with like families and shit who were like maybe an inch one way in a car crash, they would have been fucking dead. I can't fucking complain because I got a toe in my jaw. It wasn't even like the hardest shot. It wasn't wobbled at the time. I've taken bare shins in fights, gotten cracked with bare shins, bare knees, and bare elbows in fights, 4-ounce gloves that have actually rocked me and wobbled me or done this, that, and the other, and I had no bone breakages off it. It's just a freak thing. It must have just been like the ball on the end of the chain, the toes just whipping round. You had thick shin guards on. It just whipped me at the end of the jaw on my right side, and then it fractured it in 2 places. I woke up in the morning, had everything, all the boxes ticked for a great sparring session, had my tin of beans, had 2 coffees, and had my taurine and my B complex. Everything was brilliant. And it's just one of them freak accidents. It wasn't really even a hard spar. It's fucking crazy. It's what can happen. It kind of makes me want to take the whole Max Holloway no spar approach. If I spend all week in A&E and need plates and wires in my jaw now and didn't get a penny for it. It's experience, but it gives me perspective. So I'll have more time to coach. I've got to be careful about the contact. Some people I'm not going to hold pads for because guaranteed they'll punch me in my face and wreck me because they have no accuracy. But I've got more time to share shit, make content with you people. Really sorry to Lucas Cassius Clay. I've never pulled out of a fight before, and the first time I pulled out for a fight is fucking broken jaw. It's a rotten situation. I'm going to be on the slop for 6 weeks, so if anyone has any dietary recommendations, or a Palmo, or a blender big enough for a Palmo, that'd do me. Maybe if I get enough sauce, I can mash it up. I'll just be on lattes and soup for 6 weeks, figuring out what training I can do. I don't know how high impact I can go with hitting bags and stuff. I don't want to rattle my jaw in any way. Maybe I'm just going to have to do farmer's walks for 6 weeks and get yolk off of soup and lattes and farmer's walks. Fuck knows. If you've experienced it, please get in touch. Give us some advice. I've just looked at Reddit stuff. It's not the most comprehensive guide they give you out of the hospital.